friends. This is Sue at Miller's Laboratory. Thank you for joining me today. We are continuing to work on our 7 Pretty Journals series, and today I'm going to be working in this brown book, which is my Appleton School Readers fifth reader, 5th grade. It just has a really pretty cover, has this old crumbly sort of leather spine, and I just really love how it looks. So before I start with that, I just want to tell you that this week I've been quite busy making more tags. So I used to be a Graphics Fairy design team member, and when I was on that team, I printed out a lot of things for projects that I didn't always use. And so I found a whole little envelope full of prints where I had printed out different tags and only used 1 or 2 on the page. So this week I went through and I cut all of those out and backed them all so that they are ready to just have a focal point put on them and be used in journals. So that was a lot. I have a huge bin of neutral scrap papers that I used. I'm trying to use up my stuff again. So just really got a lot done with those tags. So I'll set those aside for now. So I'm going to open up this book and we'll kind of show you what I have gotten done, and then we'll do a few things together as we go. Right on the inside here, I've tucked this, I'm calling this a bookmark. It could be a tall tag too, but this is made from a paint chip. And if you watch me, you know I use paint chips a lot. Our local hardware store doesn't seem to mind if I come in and pick up a few paint chips every time I go. And so I just, again, backed this with some more neutral things, so you could write on the back if you wanted, and then added a pretty tall flower here. And I made one of these for each book, so that will be included. Here, I just added a pocket. This is a glued-on pocket that just has a little vellum edging on the top. The next page, I have a page where I folded up the bottom, and I just have this weird little flap, and I decided to make another pocket there. And I'm just going to add in this pretty music paper to make that pocket taller. And so I'm going to cut the end off here. This is from a really, really old music book from the 1800s. This is definitely rag paper. It's really nice and sturdy. Okay. So I want to make this tall, and I just want to point out here that what I thought I would do is I would have a pocket in the back, and then I would leave this tiny pocket in the front just to tuck, you know, one of these little tiny tags. There's that little girl there. You know, that's cute to tuck something small in there. So this was a scrap that I already had. This doesn't have to go all the way down to the bottom of the pocket. Once that's glued in there, it's going to keep everything separate. You know, if you put something in here, it's not going to interfere at all with something that's down here, even though you can see on the side here that that doesn't go quite all the way to the bottom. So I'm just going to glue that in there and call that one good for now. Probably put some kind of a tag or something on it later. Good. So how is everybody? It's Sunday. We were busy yesterday doing some outdoor chores, and so I didn't get to my video yesterday. And I just got home from church, and it's a beautiful day today. Wow, so pretty out there. So I want to get this done because I would rather be outdoors when it's like this. It's not always an option here, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm just adding my glue on both of those layers there. And now we have double pocket here and then a tiny little pocket in the front. Okay. All right. This page I put one of those fold down writing space belly bands, just like the one I did in the other book. I already showed you that, and then just added that little folded card on top. Just extended that page a little bit because it was short. This is another pocket that I'll have to do something with. All right, this is where I have created a little stub in the middle where I can add in envelopes or another page. And this is a really old, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that might be Latin. It's a really old, cool feeling page from an old book that I had. And I just took a piece from the inner part of a doily, which looks really pretty and lacy, just to extend that to make it the size of the length. You don't have to, but I just decided to do that. And then I'm just going to glue that in there like that. Simple, simple, simple. Every page doesn't have to be for writing. Every page doesn't have to be, I mean, I like to make things very functional, but I also appreciate just the beauty of some pretty old paper. And I know most people out there do too. So I don't mind having something like that in there. That's just to look at. And I liked how you could kind of see the, let's move that over just a smidge. The chads or whatever you call those from the notebook. I'm really conscious of layers when I'm creating a journal. So like, I think this is pretty because you've got this over here, and then you've got this beautiful old paper, this, and then this pretty paper behind there, and even a little strip of pink back there. All of that just looks really beautiful to me, and I like every page when you turn it to see something nice like that. Okay, now here I have another one of those visitors register pages, and I folded the top down. That was a really tall book, and so you have a nice big flap at the top, and I decided to make one of my little like mini booklets in there. So I've already kind of assembled some papers that I want to put in there, and I just wanted to show you. I'm going to stitch this in just a little different. The other ones that I've been just going in and out, in and out. This one I'm just going to use 2 holes and tie a bow at the top because I just feel like doing something different. You guys have seen the same thing over and over again here. So I'm going to come right to the middle here, and oop, I've messed that up. And I'll just punch a couple holes with the needle, and that'll make it really easy. Except where did the needle go? There it is. All right. To find when I am coming in from the outside. Okay. Church was fun today because we had our old pastor who retired. He came to fill in today. While our regular pastor is off at his son's wedding. So it's kind of fun to see him today. It's like seeing an old friend, you know. I mean, really, he is an old friend, so. Okay, I'm going to just add a little dab of glue on that knot so that doesn't come undone. Just not gluing it down to the paper or anything. I'm just putting a little dab of glue on the knot itself. Okay. Let me grab something. I'll be right back. I thought it would be fun, since we have this large expanse here, to punch a butterfly in there. So I'm going to try to do that without any problems. There we go. And then you'll kind of see the brown paper underneath through the butterfly shape, instead of putting a label or something on there. See, just thought that would be kind of cool. This is a side tuck. I just added a little label on there to make it like more of a corner tuck. But this one I did the same. I made a little, oh, where'd my little girl go? I didn't glue it here, so you could stick something in like that. so it kind of is in between, and then also put something in here. And again, you get that nice layered look. Okay, now here, this is the center of the signature, and I think this is like parchment paper or tracing paper that was coffee dyed. And I just thought it might be fun to make half of this side into a belly band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear the bottom off of this side and glue it down, and then this one will still be a page, but this one will be a belly band. So let me grab my little ruler here. Can't find the little ruler. We'll just use this one because it's here on my table. I do want to make it kind of even, so it's just touching the bottom of these letters, so I think I'll tear it just touching the top of these. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully I don't make a terrible mistake here tearing it. Oh no, that's great. Okay, and then we just have to be careful removing it in the middle there. So I'm going to just kind of stick my thumb there to get that started, and then just tear it right down. Okay, save that for something else. That's where I run into trouble, saving all these little bits. Okay, so now all I have to do is glue this down here, and I think I'll glue it over here too, just to make that a little more stable, because right now this is only, it's only stitched in the one hole. It's outside of both of these. So I'm just going to add a little glue along here to keep that from shifting too much in there. And then see how there's just a tiny space there? It's not quite as wide as the page underneath it. So, you know, I'm just going to add something along there. And I actually found this in my scraps. I don't know why I had this with some embossed paper with holes in it. And I just thought that was kind of neat looking. So I thought, well, I'll put that on there. And then maybe a little bit of washi tape or something. So just little bits. Again, little bits are fun. All right, let's do some of this. And that is probably a little too high. Let's tear off a little bit more. Just going to add this right along the edge of the page there. And then just this little bit, just because I thought it was cute. I must have been embossing some paper that had holes in it, and just, I don't know, then I kept it because I'm insane. I told my daughter, this is not a good hobby if you have hoarding tendencies. It's not a good hobby for you. All right, there we go, and now we have a nice little belly band there. Very fun. This is the other side of that visitor's registry page, and I've already done something in here. I did put another little roll down piece of paper. This is that painter's masking paper, so it's nice and thin. I just cut it or tore it into a strip and did the same thing, kind of rolled it up, put it in there, and attached it at the top with a tag. And then when this folds down, you can't see it. It's hidden. But I thought it would be fun if I made a little pocket down below, and this is just a square of vellum with a flower glued on it that I had right there. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down at the bottom to make a pocket. When you put something inside the pocket, it just covers that up and holds it closed. Should give that vellum a little more time to dry. So it's just sort of looks like a pocket. You can't really tell. But then when you take this out, oh, what are we stuck on? Then you can open this and get that extra journaling space underneath there. And I thought on this side I would do a belly band, and this is a strip similar to what I showed you before. This is actually from the Graphics Fairy, And I'm just going to, I thought it would be cool to fold this down at the top so it makes a little like a tab at the top, like that. And then it will hang over, you know, onto this side here. So we'll go ahead and put that in place and have it just sticking up a little bit, and then get it centered here. It's very easy. All right, and then I'm going to hold it so that it stays where I want it, and then we'll just add our glue along here to glue down the belly band so that, yeah, and we'll put a little glue up in the fold there and come right back down. Now that's glued down on this side, and then we just need to add the glue at the bottom here. Make sure I'm not cutting anything underneath there. And then I just need to glue that. There. There. And then I like to add little extras to those to make them a little more my own. And I'm just going to add a couple little bits of paper that I have here. And see, that doesn't go all the way across. I'm good with that. It's another little piece that I saved. Isn't that crazy? But it's a good little piece for this. I think I'll put it right up there like that. It takes away the a little bit of the lines, the horizontal lines that go across the whole thing. Let's do a little bit of this. This is like sparkly. And we will need a straight edge again because I'm going to go to the edge of it. Let's put that one here. There. Just adds a little bit of your own touch to it. This is a short page, and I could extend it. I'm going to extend it, but a little bit different way. It's a very nice place to write, so I thought I'd leave the writing space over here. On this side, I'm just going to put a little row of tags down the edge that are hanging over the edge. And I'm only going to glue them right on the edge so that it could also be a little tuck spot if you wanted. So these are just like the, you can get these at Walmart or wherever. They're just like in the office section. And I just took the whole package out and put it in a cup of tea to dye the whole thing at once. There. So now here I'm going to come down to the bottom. I have 5 of these, so this is an easy way to space them out. And they'll have their little strings hanging down. I just retied the knots in those and made them shorter because, they come with a really long string on them. My spacing isn't perfect, but it's good enough. It has that handmade look. All right. And then you can tuck something in there like that. This was another little stub inside, and I added in an envelope. These are some envelopes I actually picked up at the thrift store. So I ran it through my printer and put kind of an old-time looking address on there. And then this is a really nice big wide pocket to put things in. But on the other side, this is the flap of the envelope. Instead of gluing it down, I put some thin paper on the inside of the flap to cover up the gummed part, the sticky part. And then I only glued it, I glued it along the top here of the envelope. And then I glued this so that this is also a tuck spot. You can tuck something in there. Here was another place to put a flip, and I just added this pretty piece of vellum. Okay, now we've come to this big thing that's been sticking out all this time. I found one of these going through my stuff, and I had forgotten about these, but I did these in some old books, and I really liked how it looked. So these are just, this was just a digital that I bought with outlined sketches of peonies. And I printed the ones that I liked, and then I took them to the UPS store and got toner copies made. And then I just coffee dyed the paper after it was printed. That's a lot easier for me than trying to run coffee dyed paper through my inkjet printer. I have trouble with that. So I've got this great big peony, and I'm just going to cut this off at the top so I can see. What I need to do here is determine how tall this can be, and I need to measure it to my page. So if I cut that off close, then I know I'm at the top of the peony, and I'm looking at the top of my page here, which is this one right here. And then I'm just going to find the bottom, which is here, and I'm going to fold this just a little bit longer than that because I can trim off after I do my gluing. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a line here and just cut that off. This doesn't have to be a perfect one because it's not going to be the bottom edge of the paper. There will be trimming to do after that. This is really great to save. I have a lot of these. You can use the back part as a nice neutral piece of paper for the back of a tag. Okay, and then this one pretty much goes out to the edge of the paper, but if it didn't, you know, if there was a lot of space, I would trim that off too, because I want to determine if it's going to fit first on this page. What it's going to do is it's going to wrap around on both sides. And so I'm going to fold it in half, and I can see that it will fit. It'll just fit. Okay, so sometimes if I have more wiggle room, I'll open it up and I'll say, okay, well, I would really like the stem to be on the front, and so I'll fold it here or whatever. But this one, I'm just going to keep it in the middle. I've got my fold, and I want this fold to be really good, so I'm going to turn it the other way and fold it again. Then I'm going to turn it the other way and fold it again. I'm using my nails to make sure I get a really good crease there. Okay, all right, now we cut it out. So I'm going to do that on super fast speed, and I'll be done in a second. Okay, so since we cut off the part where this leaf attached to the stem, it was a separate piece, and I cut it out, and I'm just going to set it aside. We'll attach it just as a separate piece when we're done. So, like I said, I took these originals to the FedEx store to get some toner copies. It's been a while since I've done that, and I don't know why I was thinking it was going to be like 3 cents a copy. I think it was 14 cents a copy, which, I mean, still, if you were buying scrapbook paper or something, that would still be really cheap. So it's not a big deal, but it's like, really? 14 cents for this really inexpensive copy paper, but that's okay. I do not feel comfortable doing that kind of thing where I work. It's kind of like stealing to me, so I'm happy to pay the 14 cents a copy. Another leaf here that will be separate. All right, now it is important to cut out these negative space parts. And so I'm going to use my little cheat here where I just kind of go in along a line and cut right across and go ahead and take out that middle part. That is all going to be glued down, so it doesn't matter that you cut it apart. So we have this floppy little guy here. And then here, I'm just going to go right up here this way. All right, now we have this nice peony, and it's going to fold in half like this. This little guy also will fold in half, and he will fit right back up there, okay? So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to glue this side of the page, which is this. So I'm going to fold this in half so I'm looking at the wrong side, and I'm going to put my glue only on here and then glue it down right to the edge of that page. You can use glue stick for this, but there's a lot of little hangy bits sometimes, and you don't want those to get caught on something and tear off. So I like to use the art glitter glue. You do have to work kind of quickly, but you have a little bit of time to work, so you can do this. All right, we're going to go ahead and come right up here to the top of the page and place this fold down right on the very edge of it. And go ahead and smooth it down. Okay, all right. Now I'm not worrying about this for right now. We'll come back and get that afterward, okay? But there is half of the peony glued down. We're going to come over here. Let's flip that guy out of the way, and we're going to glue this half down to this side of the page. So same thing, but I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on all of this side, so up to that fold line on that floppy leaf there, just so he doesn't give me trouble and get stuck where he's not supposed to be. Make sure you're pulling it so that it's folding right over the edge of the page, and you don't want that sticking out at all. You want it to be nice and smooth. Okay, and then we'll just line that up with the edge of the page, the crease in that leaf, and go ahead and press that down too. Good. Okay, now we can come back over and glue this part down, and just pull it a little bit if you need to make it match up. That's going to be perfect right there. Okay. All right, and then we can come in and add our extra leaves that had to get cut off. So here's this one. And I think I'm going to just put it right there. I'd like to get the whole thing in there if I can. So I'm going to come in right next. This is nice because you can kind of reposition it and put it where you would like it. I could chop some of it off at the bottom if I wanted to make it smaller. I kind of like it filling up that whole page, so I'm going to try to get the whole thing in there. Right around to the edge. There's that. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll add this other little leaf back in. I think I'll keep it close to the stem right there. Good. We just have to trim the edge off and we're good. All right. I think that is long enough for today, so I'm going to stop. I had some more things to do, but we'll save them for next time. Have a wonderful week, you guys. Enjoy summer and just do something fun. Do some crafting. Enjoy your family and have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next weekend. Bye.